name is Zubaida Gulam, and I'm co-founder and creative director, creative lead at Brand Truth. Brand Truth is a digital marketing agency, and I'm looking forward to chatting to you guys today about Black Twitter.
Can you please tell us, in your own understanding and with your experience and your knowledge, what is Black Twitter?
Well, Black Twitter, I think, is something that was coined by Black people who live on Twitter. It was called Black Twitter in America, I think, specifically because it was used to push not agendas, but to make people aware of the issues that Black people are faced with on a daily. However, in South Africa, I think it's just Twitter because America is majority white and minority Black, so they use that as a platform to kind of speak about the issues. In South Africa, it's just Twitter because there's more us than anything else. And what happens there is I don't know. Have you experienced Black Twitter in the last year?
Yes, I have.
Have you?
I have used it.
Are you on Twitter?
I currently moved to Twitter recently.
Recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
because
I have experience with it.
It's everything that you would imagine conversations would be between people generally.
Okay.
Topics about social issues, topics about humor, about what it's about to be a Black person. It's constantly evolving. And yeah, I think it's an interesting space to be as a brand and also as an individual.
Yeah. And with that being said, do you think brands underutilize it in South African context?
Underutilize Twitter?
Yeah, Black Twitter specifically.
Well, I do think there are opportunities for brands to start playing in that space. Not a lot of brands really have a voice on Twitter because I think they don't really understand how the platform actually works.
Mm-hmm.
And once you understand it, you get it right. There are also brands that actually do engage on the platform successfully.
Yeah.
However, I do think that there's a lot of room for maneuvering.
What do you think brands can learn from this particular audience under Black Twitter?
The Black Twitter audience is the one that leads the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a nice opportunity for brands to start understanding what's being spoken about and how to kind of insert themselves in a very relevant way. A couple of brands that do it really well.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of Nandos,
yeah.
Nandos does it really well. Well, Nandos is an all-rounder.
Yeah,
I think they get it right on all
definitely.
The platforms.
Yeah.
However, Twitter, because you've got a very short amount of space to say something, people tend to be very impactful.
Yeah.
So they say what they mean and they say it and it leaves an impact.
Okay.
So I do think that brands can start playing in that space by just, inserting themselves cleverly in the conversation because it is a conversation. That's what the platform does. It
definitely
drives conversation.
Okay. Now that you mentioned Nandos, there was a recent thing that happened between Nandos and Pick n Pay.
Oh, you mean Pick n Pay?
Yeah, Pick n Pay. Where do you think Pick n Pay got it wrong? What could they have done differently?
Well, Pick n Pay got it wrong from all angles, from understanding what chicken means to just as a basic thing,
Yeah.
I do think they had an opportunity to laugh at themselves because
their
response was kind of like, oh, we apologize, we realized that we got it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think very cleverly Nandos jumped on that and they joined the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Pick n Pay just kind of relaxed a little and, realized that they'd made a mistake, they could have been, I don't know, it could have done better for the brand, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And how important do you, or would you say, Venek is important in Black Twitter? How vital is it to understanding vernac, because I feel like it's mostly African languages used on the platform as opposed to English. So how important is it for brands to understand vernac going into that spectrum of like Twitter?
Well, it's very important. If you think of just what we were talking about now, Inkuku versus chicken. They didn't really know what chicken meant if they were using it in that context. So the thing about vernacular is that you can't just directly translate it from whatever the vernacular is into English, because then it doesn't make sense. It's more appealing, or it's more real and authentic once you start using it in a clever way. That's really cool, and people understand and connect. I think DSTV does that really well, where they use those languages so beautifully that
it's engaging.
It's engaging, and it makes sense. You know, don't ask me what mountain means in Zulu, and then just place it into a sentence and think that
directly translated
it doesn't work.
It doesn't make sense sometimes.
Vernacular is important, I think, but you need to use it the right way. Straight up on any platform.
Okay.
All
right. So, what advice would you give to a brand or company, business, anything that is looking to go into like Twitter, like? If they're looking to improve their reputation, would you suggest that? What advice would you give in this regard?
To improve your reputation, I wouldn't just step into the streets of Black Twitter. I would, first of all, understand my purpose as a brand, because people really catch on to nonsense if you are trying too hard. So I think you need to start the conversation. But start it knowing that you fit that profile, or that you make sense to the people that you're talking to. Otherwise, they will take you out. And we've seen that happen several times. So it's as with any relationship. You don't just impose yourself. You need to make sure that you have the same interests, and that you speak the same language and understand each other, have the same purpose. Then people will start to listen. You start the conversation and almost let the conversation continue organically with you having started it. I think brands need to start really considering doing that.
Okay. And in your view, do you think Black Twitter is going to be like the next thing that companies need to consider as a marketing tool to say, okay, now we need to tap into Black Twitter in order to like have campaigns and things like that? Do you think it's headed there?
I think it's already there. I think it's there already. I just think that, like I said, it needs to be relevant. You need to know who you're speaking to, and you need to really be engaging enough to be interesting. So it's moving in that way already. I think brands are doing it. I'm gonna go back to Nandos, who uses it. Nandos and Rockamama's actually. So they listen to what people are saying. People are always talking about their brands or making reference to their brands, and they listen and they respond. They respond in a way that is also relevant. It's not just responding for the sake of responding.
What reference did Rockamama's make?
So Rockamama's is always listening to what people are saying, especially when it comes to consuming Rockamama's as it's food. Everybody's always taking pictures of the food before you eat it, or saying that they're at Rockamama's. They respond really cleverly to that kind of thing. Another brand that does it really well, a global brand that I think is almost like the benchmark, was Burger King some years ago, who had the most retweeted tweet in the history of tweeting. Does that make sense?
Kind of, it does.
The most retweeted.
Do you remember the tweet?
Yes. You should know it as well. You must remember it. So Kanye West tweeted that he loves McDonald's, and it was during that time when he was just being erratic as an artist and saying all these crazy things, and Burger King responded and said it makes sense. That's all they said. Makes sense. And it got retweeted gazillion times, because for obvious reasons. And Burger King didn't have to, they knew what was going on with Kanye, and they know that McDonald's is their competitor, and that was just how many lines or how many words? It was probably about, that makes sense. 3 words. And became the most retweeted tweet in Twitter history.
Okay. All right.
See, that's about that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying about having your ear on the ground and understanding what's happening out there when people are talking about.
Okay. And do you think, since it's a certain community and obviously dominated by Black people, do you think for other brands, it's like closing them out, or they should be open to it? Which one would you suggest? Which one do you think is best?
So are you saying that like what's the balance between speaking to Black Twitter on its own versus speaking to Twitter, the entire Twitter universe?
Yes.
Well, Black Twitter is a very specific kind of mindset, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, because they experience life the way they experience life.
Yeah.
They have commonalities that not everybody else has. So I do think it's about, and even if it is Black Twitter, you get the wild Black Twitter, you get the slightly milder Black Twitter. So if brands want to start playing in that space, like I said, they need to understand what they want as a brand, who they need to understand what their purpose is, and then know that these are the people that you need to be engaging with, and this is how you actually speak to them.
Would you advise a brand to consider an influencer from the Black Twitter community, promoting it as an individual, considering that probably an influencer has like 1,000 followers or 20,000, whatever the case may be?
Yeah. So
is it worth the effort? Because I think like there's also like a risk involved there, because it's like you're giving not your entire reputation to a particular individual.
So influencers is a completely different ball game
when
it comes to any platform. With Black Twitter specifically, I do think that you need to be very careful if you're going to use an influencer, because, like I said, people call nonsense when they see it.
Yeah.
So you need to have somebody that really speaks to your brand, and you're not just paying them for the sake of just paying them to say, oh, look, I engage with this brand. They need to really be a part of that brand. If you know what I mean? So it's about choosing the right person without then putting your brand at risk, because that can happen very easily. And it's more difficult to try and fix a mess like that than to think about it properly and plan it and make sure that it's the right person speaking to your audience. So I would consider it very, very thoroughly. That's the bottom line. If you don't, then you're putting yourself at risk.
In your opinion, how do you think brands can use Black Twitter to learn about their audiences?
They just need to listen.
Okay.
That's all you need to do. You just need to listen. And listening means watching what people are saying about current affairs. And that's what Twitter does, doesn't it? It brings forth current affairs, things that are happening all of the time around people. So you need to, if you want to start engaging like that, you need to just listen. And then once you respond and once you want to start a conversation, make sure that it's within context and that it's relevant to the people that you want to speak to.
That's all I have for you.
Is that all you have for me?
That's all I have for you.
Oh, look at that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. It's good chatting.
Thanks.